Okay, let's jump in. Imagine success wasn't, about being the biggest or the fastest. What if the real prize was something else entirely, found somewhere maybe unexpected?
It's fascinating, isn't it? How sometimes the most profound ideas are wrapped up in, well, seemingly simple things.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we found in our source material for this deep dive today. It's a really lovely story called The Great Family Flower Off.
Hmm.
We've got the text right here, and our mission really is to unpack it, see what this little tale tells us about effort, about growth, and about something it calls uh, happiest hearts.
A great phrase.
Yeah. So let's dive in.
Okay, so the story, it sets the scene in Grandma Petal's backyard. Apparently, there's this friendly flower contest they hold every spring. A
Yeah.
family tradition.
Right, nice and simple. And we meet the competitors pretty quick. You've got Dad, and he's aiming high, going for those towering
Yeah,
sunflowers.
maximum height. Then there's Auntie Vi. She's cultivating something a bit more fancy. Exotic orchids.
Okay. And Cousin Leo, he brings this sort of wild card element, just a mystery seed he found in his backpack.
A backpack seed. And then, bringing this totally different vibe, there's little Mia. She chose daisies.
Yeah.
Why? Because, and the source says this charmingly, they smile like me.
Oh, that's sweet. Such different personalities, different plants.
Yesily.
And their approaches to actually growing them were just as unique, weren't they? It wasn't just water and sun.
Not at all. The source talks about watering, yes, but also singing to the plants, even dancing for them. Specific examples are great. Dad apparently did sunflower squats, to encourage them upward.
Sunflower squats, okay. And Leo, with his mystery seed, he was maybe taking it quite seriously.
Oh, yeah. He told it bedtime stories every night.
Good time stories to a seed, okay. And Mia, what was her special technique?
Well, for her, it seems it was about connection. The source mentions she made daisy crowns and wore them daily, just constantly celebrating her little flowers.
It's more than just cute, though. It shows, like, the different kinds of energy and care they each put in, different types of investment.
Exactly. Which makes you wonder, right? Does the how matter as much as the what? Which leads us straight to the judging.
The big reveal, the
Yeah.
moment of truth. How did all that unique effort actually turn out?
Well, Dad's sunflower. It was tall, ambitious effort paid off there. But the source notes it was also kind of droopy.
Okay. Not quite the glorious victory, perhaps. And Antivi's fancy orchids.
Quite moody, it seems.
Yeah.
Very particular. They only bloomed on Wednesdays.
Only Wednesdays.
And Cousin Leo, his mystery seed, after all those bedtime stories,
Yeah, what happened?
it grew into, well, just a single leaf.
One leaf.
One leaf. Oh, and a jelly bean appeared next to it,
Yeah.
which is memorable anyway.
A single leaf and a jelly bean. Okay, not exactly a prize-winning bloom by normal standards.
Definitely not. But then you had Mia's daisies.
Right, the smiling one.
And the source describes them as bright, bushy, blooming. And here's the kicker, and shared with everyone.
Shared with everyone. That sounds important.
It turns out it was very important because the winner wasn't Dad or Auntie V or Leo and his jelly bean leaf. The winner was Mia.
Okay, so this is where the deep dive really gets interesting. Because the story doesn't just say she won because her daisies looked the nicest.
No, it's very specific. The source explicitly states she won for growing flowers, and this is crucial family smiles.
Wow. Okay, so that completely flips the usual script on winning, doesn't it?
Totally. It suggests success isn't just the end product. The story seems to pull out a few key lessons from this. Like growing anything worthwhile, it takes love, sure, but also patience and care. We saw everyone put that in their own way.
Yeah, they all tried hard. Dad squatted, Leo told stories. They were invested.
But the big insight, the thing this story really wants you to grab onto, is that success, here anyway, wasn't just about the physical thing, the height, the rarity. It was measured by kindness, by the joy that was created around it.
And that simple things, like planting daisies and sharing them, can actually be powerful ways to build, family fun, connection.
Exactly. Which leads us right to the core message. The real takeaway from The Great Family Flower Off. It's summed up in this beautiful line.
Which one?
In life and gardens, it's not about growing the biggest flower. It's about growing the happiest hearts.
Happiest hearts. That really lands differently, doesn't it? It shifts the focus.
Completely. It suggests the real value isn't just in what you produce, the visible result, but in the feeling, the connection, the generosity that happens along the way. The process itself becomes part of the reward.
So it challenges that idea that bigger is always better or rarer is always more valuable.
Precisely. This story gently proposes that maybe, just maybe, The true measure is in the happiness and connection that bloom.
So, wrapping up our deep dive into this charming story, the main insight, the kernel of wisdom from the great family flower off, seems to be this. Success in this view isn't measured by the size of your sunflower, maybe. It's measured by the state of your heart and the hearts around you, the joy, the kindness, the connection.
It really leaves you with something warm to think about, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And maybe a question for you listening, thinking about your own goals, your own gardens, so to speak. How might focusing on cultivating happiest hearts alongside whatever else you're trying to achieve, how might that change things? Your approach, maybe even your definition of what success feels like?
Something to ponder.